Hello, YouTubers. Joe and Paul of Joe and Paul here. Again. Well, not again today. This is Wednesday, February 20th.
We're just back home again.
At 5:30 in the evening. Oh, well.
Same time.
Well, no, it's, yes, well, we are, this is Paul's day, second day off. Second day off. So he goes back to work tomorrow. Now this morning, well, we futzed around at the usual morning things, read the Wall Street Journal online, coffee, tea, shower, shave.
Get the paper from the end of the job.
And the third S, I used to work with a man that I said, well, did you have any breakfast this morning? And he said, well, I had a Mexican breakfast. And I said, well, what's that, Merle? And he said, it's an evacuation, a cigarette, and a cup of coffee. Mexican breakfast. We can talk about Merle some other video, because this was a very significant individual in my life as far as, well, a lot of things.
Because my employees have a lot more than they leave out cigarettes, and they have a big pig out fest before they go up and start doing the rooms in the end.
Perhaps the definition of Mexican breakfast has shifted over the last 35 years.
I mean, I
wouldn't doubt.
They have burritos. They've got all kinds of stuff going.
Well, we've clearly gotten off in a direction that I had not intended to go. We futzed around until it was time for me to go up to the Bible group this morning. And I ran Paul up to the Ford place so he could pick up his truck, because the truck was ready. And he got off with, what, $550, right?
Yeah. It's just, yeah.
Well, he elected not to have the major front end rebuild done.
Ball joints, sway bars,
and there was something else that
it was ball joints and sway bars would have been an extra 900 and some.
No, the total would have been just like $1,299 for this extra work. So, seeing as how he only drives a mile and a quarter to work and a mile and a quarter home, and then goes over to the beer and cigarette place every now and again, doesn't do a lot of freeway driving. It's probably going to be relatively safe. This is what he's had 2 sets of ball joints already. 2 sets of ball joints.
Yeah.
This would have been the third.
I could admit, I can go to like Circleville and
well, I mean, yes,
yeah,
but you don't do that. Well, I mean, you haven't done that often, that very much at all. I mean, the last, 5 years, how often have we driven really down past the south edge of town?
Well, I didn't do it because sister's husband confiscated a house from her and kicked her ass out on. She had to go find another place. And then he turned around and gave it back to her. So, she's back at the lake house. Out at Hargis.
There's always a saga. There's always a saga. Well, anyway, so he got his truck, and I was at Bible study, and now it seems that one of our members was going to have a birthday. Well, having a birthday tomorrow, so one of the other members baked her a cake and brought little paper plates and forks and things. And well, it turned out this woman's daughter came down from Cleveland for her birthday, so she didn't come to Bible study today. And Llewellyn said, well, that's okay. We're just going to eat the cake anyway. But when they brought the cake out to eat here, after we'd sort of pretty much gotten done with our discussion, we were going to call this other woman, Roberta, and
The
sing,
birthday girl.
and yes, the birthday girl, and sing her happy birthday using the loudspeaker function of the cell phone. And we called her, and we were all hollering at her through the loudspeaker function on my cell phone, and you could hear her daughter in the background saying, "They have cake. Let's go eat the cake." And so she doesn't live very far, from church. So they whipped down about 10 minutes later and ate the cake.
The cake.
Well, I generally don't eat. They do this a lot. I don't eat. I haven't eaten sweet stuff really since I was in my early 20s, and I prefer more liquid, starchy sources of food. But
I quit sweets in high school.
well, see, there it is. My mother was a heck of a baker, and rolls and cookies and everything. But my word, you'd be big as a house, wouldn't you?
Like 30, 40 years ago, I quit eating candy.
I never particularly liked hard candy anyway, even when I was a kid. Well, anyway, so she comes down, and they have cake, and we sing happy birthday, and her daughter, who's in her probably mid-20s, she had just taken up about 2 months ago with a new boyfriend, and just after her cat died, so the boyfriend had to get to know this young woman in the throes of grieving over her cat, which, let's face it, you lose an animal you care about, it's horrible. So apparently this guy knows how to sew and do all sorts of constructive things along, like stage design and costumes, and so he made her a 6-foot-long replica of one of these dragons in a movie. I think it was called How to Tame Your Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon, something like that. And so I guess he made this big, it's 6 feet long, and it's got 6 feet wingspan on it. And I guess this was quite sort of the wowing, entry into the heart moment for this young woman.
So it's like a tapestry that.
Oh no, it's a big stuffed animal. No, it's a big stuffed animal. He made her basically a 6-foot-long, 6-foot-wide stuffed animal.
What the freak is she going to do with that?
I guess she's going to put it in her house somewhere and look at it. What do you do with a 6-foot-long stuffed animal?
I don't know, but I was
maybe she could get another cat and it could crawl around on it.
I was thinking if it was a flat thing, she could possibly be thumbtacked up on the wall somehow. It'd
be like a cat scratching post, although I don't think he made it, vigorous enough to be used as a cat scratching post.
Well, we'll find out.
Yes, I dare say we will find out, because we get a lot of updates on this 25-year-old. Some good, some not so good. Well, that's like anybody, isn't it? Okay, so there were really no significant theological conflicts today at the group. And actually, we had a very reasonable discussion. So that was very refreshing. Now, our rector stopped in, and he's off back home to Massachusetts. His brother's getting married. Now, he comes from a family he's the oldest of like 8 siblings, 8 kids. So he's the oldest, and then his sister, the only sister, and then the rest of these guys are younger. And so this brother's getting married. This is the second brother that's gotten married in a year and a half, or will have gotten married. And now apparently, and this is something I've never heard of before, they're having a Jack and Jill party. Well, now somebody said, "Is that like a shower?" Well, no, not a shower.
You ran everybody up a hill and see who falls
No,
off.
no, it's not. No, it's no. What it is, it sounds almost like one of these rent parties. They actually sell tickets to these things. Anybody in town can come. They have music and food and drinks and dancing and and it's not. The profits are earmarked for a particular couple that weekend, and in this case, it's his brother and his fiancée. But I guess this is almost a weekly occurrence up there in Western Massachusetts.
So, people buying tickets to show up and go to this thing. The monies would go into like the trousseau of a couple being married.
Yes, I was trying to
help them get started off.
Yes, well, yes, I was trying to avoid getting into these kind of marital technical terms. But yes, no, that's exactly it. And and
back in the 40s, and that where they called them hope chats. Only now they just get bags of money out of.
Well, they called it a Jack and Jill party. That's what he calls it. I've never heard the term before.
Me neither.
I found it interesting. I suppose if you were a clever, crafty sort, you could turn something like this into a Ponzi scheme. This is not me advocating that by any means, of course. So he's off. He's going to drive up to Massachusetts here. I guess he's going to leave here later tonight or early tomorrow. Oh, blow my brains out. I've done that drive 3 times. Anyway, he's done it more often than that because he lives up there. He grew up there. And his family's still up there.
Couldn't really be able to go home and sleep up and rest up for the drive.
So he was off. He was off to do a guest stint at a class at Ohio Wesleyan, and he was going to discuss, media bias, pro and con for Christianity. So we talked about what he might say for a while, and then he scampered off. And he scampered off. He didn't even get any cake. They set a piece aside for him, but they said he's gone. He's left. So
personally, he really didn't.
Well, so hopefully he'll have a safe trip. Now, I guess his wife was in Cleveland because she consults. So she's in Cleveland, I guess. So our assisting priest is going to do the service on Sunday, which is always, I like her very much. She's, we theologically completely disagree, but I like her very much. She's a very decent, good soul. So got home, and then so then basically Paul was on his machine watching stuff, and I was on my machine watching stuff this afternoon, and I just heated up some food here. We'll have a little food here in a few moments. Yeah, a few moments. It's 5:45, so we'll look at a little TV here. Maybe not. We're going to eat anyway, so we don't, reel around feeling hungry.
Oh, you have military time on your right?
Yes, no, I have the 24-hour clock on my toolbar up top here. That's
yeah. I had
yes, it took me a while.
Civilian time.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out how to get rid of that, but I happened upon it at some point.
Get rid of the civilian.
Yes, I actually thought about putting GMT time up there, but I thought, well, that may be going just a hair too far. So,
GMT.
Yeah, Greenwich Mean Time, Zulu time.
But we do not live in Zulu.
Well, it's Zulu time is Greenwich Mean Time. You know, it's 5 hours, well, ahead of us. You know, it's the Greenwich, it's the 0-degree longitude line.
So
I've stood athwart that for what it's worth. That means nothing. It just means I was up there where they draw the line and couldn't really see it up close because we got there too late to be able to have go into the courtyard where we could see all the little markers and stuff. But it was fun anyway. It was a nice climb up that hill there in Greenwich Park there outside. Well, it's not outside London now. It's sort of like in London, but they like to say it's outside London. You know, took the riverboat down and took the riverboat back up. Had a beer
I always
this
thought
pub.
Greenwich Park was in Greenwich, New York.
No, that's Greenwich Village.
Well, I'd like to know, okay, how many people, it's all the effects of the meteor thing that hit in Russia. It exploded and blew all the windows out of apartment buildings and office buildings and injured some 1,200 people.
Perhaps our viewers in Russia could answer us and leave comments and remarks.
I bet they will. If we have any viewers from there, we will find out now.
Well, you never know. You never know.
We'll find out now.
It's an amazing stuff here, this YouTube stuff. Well, I think that's pretty much it. I don't think we really have anything more of substance to add today.
Yeah, but I would like to see like the photographic explosion of this thing. When they claim it came in and exploded right at this apartment complex. Didn't blow the buildings apart, just blew the windows out of it.
Well, and at that time of year, that's a cold thing, isn't it? You know, over there in Russia, it gets really, really cold. I mean, I wouldn't want to have the windows blown out in my house, and it's just 20 degrees here, so.
Yeah, I know. Well, they instantly replaced all the windows. The government did.
Well, the government helps them.
I mean, they own everything.
Well, no, not now. They probably.
Well, somebody replaced all the windows.
They probably still own a lot of
in
it.
the
I mean, it
apartment
was
building.
communist. I mean, probably takes a fair amount of time to get over the horrible effects of that, isn't it? Alrighty, so I think we'll say
Adios.
bye-bye now. Alrighty.